strangely, it's part of our culture. It's been part of it's a very tradition that's been there. It just obviously was lost along the way. Our forefathers came here to South Africa, and things were kind of lost. And even in India, the knowledge systems sort of were lost, and slowly these are now coming back and,
Right.
and reviving themselves, which is beautiful. So yeah, sometimes we wish they were there earlier, but yeah, it's circumstances obviously that have led to knowledge being kept away from us. So Ayurveda is an ancient Indian medicine system. So it goes back some 5,000 years ago, and what it does is basically it looks at healing the body from a body, mind, and soul perspective.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Zen and Now with me, Kishan Morar. And on today's episode, I have a very special guest, someone whom I've known since childhood days, and now a passionate Ayurvedic natural healing practitioner. Please help me welcome Anusha Bhaga. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Kishan. Thanks for the welcome. Yeah, it's been a long time that we've known each other, and to meet in this kind of ways, it's just so amazing that we can share, our passion for helping people.
100%. I agree with you there. Life takes us on many journeys, and I'm just so glad that we're able to give back from what our experiences are, and just try and help somebody else.
Absolutely, yeah.
So let's get into why did you just give me a little bit of your background and your introduction into Ayurvedic practices, things like that.
Okay. All right. So my, journey into Ayurveda, I'd say began quite some time ago, but sort of just solidified this knowledge that I've had very much recently. So when I left school, I did the traditional thing and went to study economics and finished my degree. But I really knew that that's not what I wanted. I actually wanted to study natural medicine at the time, which was in Cape Town. So after finishing university, I went to London, took a gap year, and it was kind of just my adventurous spirit that led me along that path. But I also wasn't drawn into the working world, into the corporate sector. It just wasn't a calling for me. So yeah, working in London for a year, traveling a little bit, and coming back to South Africa, and getting back again into the corporate world, I still wasn't kind of fulfilled, and I knew that just really wasn't what I wanted. While I was in London, I think I just opened up a whole sort of world into spirituality, and kind of found out that there's just a lot more beyond this physical world that we see, and tapped into sort of meditation practices and that kind of thing. And it wasn't really something that I really was practicing at the time or was very heavily involved in. And so I came back to South Africa and just carried on living, the normal life and, working and that kind of thing. But was really drawn into the natural side of life, and kind of healing my body from a natural perspective. So into the corporate sector still for a while, and the soul still just wasn't satisfied. So I really then decided I needed to step out of this setup, and went into work into the public sector, because that's really just felt like I could make a difference in some way, because that's really what was my soul's calling,
Right.
Trying to help, trying to make a difference, but it really still wasn't aligned with this path that I'm on right now. So working in the public sector, and that's when I then realized, I wanted to do sort of natural things, and working with the body and in the energy space, and so started doing some Reiki, crystal healing,
Right.
working, with angel links and stuff like that. And then sort of like 5 or 6 years after coming back, I was just before my son was born. I sort of my guru came into my life, and I think that's just when my spiritual path kind of catapulted, and it just brought me deeper into my calling. And that's when so when my son was born, I started looking into ways of how I can help him. When they're little, there's always little things that they're growing up with, like running noses and just childhood, little
Right, right.
illnesses. How could I then help him better, stay healthier? And so I would always look at the alternative way of doing things and never would go to a pediatrician. I don't think either of my sons been to a
Oh
pediatrician more
wow.
than twice, because I just really, was listening to myself, listening
Right,
to their bodies, and knew if it was really extreme, then I would take them to a doctor. Um, I think we trapped so much in this fear of the external world, that we're very scared to listen to ourselves.
right,
So I started looking into that, and then when my second son was born, it's sort of the same thing again, and had all this little bits of knowledge, that I've gained over Google and that kind of thing. And also needed to just help myself in the process of having these two little boys.
right.
It just gain some balance into my life, and that's when I then looked into Ayurveda and decided to do a course in that and take my studies further. Went on to India to do some practical training as well. So that was how my journey into Ayurveda and energy healing sort of, brought me to where I am today.
That's really impressive. Like how you were able to like find your calling like very early on in your life. I don't think a lot of people actually get to have that experience, and you actually now following your passion, which is amazing in itself, because I think you've tried different things. You've seen like what the corporate life is and what you felt like, um, the natural you wanted to be a natural healer, and you just listened to yourself, and just went with it. And you've I don't think you have any regrets of not going one path, whereas if now you're just following your own path, and you feel good about it, and you feel like this is where I need to be in life.
Yes, yes. I think it's so important that we honor our voices and honor our calling. It may not be a direct path. It may not be something that's going to lead you in a year's time to where you exactly want to be. But just having that vision and having that in your heart, that this is where I want to go eventually, or this is where I want to be. You will get there. And setting your just your mindset, and reminding yourself every day of what that purpose is.
Right,
It really just helps you. I mean, it hasn't been a linear journey for me, and just an upward trajectory.
right,
There's been many, ups and downs along the way, and there's many waves that you keep on have to riding, to get to where you want to be. So it's just a matter of keeping your focus, coming up when you're in those
down,
lows,
yeah,
in the moments of lows, and just honoring yourself throughout that, and giving yourself the space that you need in those times of lows, and
right.
also appreciating the highs sometimes that come with it, because sometimes we
Celebrate the highs.
we always get stuck on the low sides
Yeah,
of life, and then we never tend to celebrate ourselves and the achievements that we have gained throughout this journey.
right,
Yeah,
right. Yeah, you make a very important point, is to we need to also celebrate the moments that bring us joy and happiness. Sometimes they
exactly.
say, okay, don't over celebrate. It's keep your feet on the ground. And
Yeah,
but I think in that moment you got to celebrate that moment of joy and happiness, and that exuberance of like, I've achieved something.
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
yeah, it's a short term, dopamine release, but
yeah,
it has to be experienced for you to actually acknowledge the fact that I've achieved something, and then you move on to the next thing. But it you have we like for so long we've been told that, don't get ahead of yourself, don't think as, oh, now you've done something, it's done. you know um, we've always been told like, stay focused, don't look too far ahead, like I said, and just
yeah.
be like, don't be like, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. It's trying to like, uh if you could help
Like
me out.
sort of over
Yeah, yeah,
expect
yeah.
what you, yeah.
100%, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I feel like in this point in time, I celebrate those moments of victory,
Mm,
um, because that's what life is about. I mean, yeah, we focus on the negatives where we want to improve, but also look at what we've achieved as well.
Yes, yeah, that's just so important.
Yeah, 100%. So your Ayurvedic practice, for those who don't understand what Ayurveda is, can you give us just a brief background or just a brief explanation into what this practice is?
Okay, so Ayurveda is an ancient Indian medicine system. So it goes back some 5,000 years ago. And what it does is basically it looks at healing the body from a body, mind, and soul perspective. So it's not just this physical body, but incorporating healing from the soul level, from an energy level, because this body is just not this physical body that we're seeing. But there are really different layers that surround this body. And so, tapping into all those layers of ourselves and healing it throughout, and getting into the root cause of what the illness is, what the issue is that you're experiencing, whether it's a mental issue, whether it's a physical issue, but understanding what the root is and how we can help you from there. Also to know that each of us is an individual. We're just we're unique,
Yes.
and there's just not one approach to healing for everybody, but each one has a unique blueprint, and so each one is going to be treated in a very unique way, so that you can actually heal in that kind of way.
Right. So I'm a newbie to Ayurveda. I come to you and I say, okay, um, I'm struggling with a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of pressure, in life and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, just from just a basic, practitioner, how would you begin like that journey of mine, just trying to get into Ayurveda, and
Okay.
what will the benefits be for me?
Okay, so like I said to you, each one is unique. And I think what I should have also mentioned is that when you come to understand Ayurveda, you also know that we're all made up of five elements, right? So we're made up of your air, your ether, your fire, water, and your earth. So some of us may be having one element more than the other, and this makes up your
Right.
doshas, which is known as Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Okay, and so when these elements get out of balance, so I'm not going to go into Vata, Pitta, Kapha, but just talk about the
Right.
elements. And so when these elements go out of balance, that's when certain illnesses are prone to come through. So when we're looking at anxiety, when we're looking at that kind of thing, if you think of anxiety, it's just really around the mind, and so when you think of that, you're thinking of the lightness and the airiness that comes with that kind of sort of symptoms, right?
Right.
And so what happens is there's a sort of imbalance in the Vata dosha. Okay, and so that then obviously has to be treated from that perspective. But it's also about understanding your digestion.
Right.
Okay, and understanding that we everything centers around our digestion. Okay, and so over time, what we eat and the foods that we consume, how is that getting digested? And there's also a buildup of toxins as time goes on in our systems, and that then eventually starts seeping into the tissues of our body. So the tissues of our body then obviously get sort of infiltrated with this toxins, and then that obviously then causes stagnation, and these other issues then start building up. So
Right.
it's how to treat the digestion and getting that into balance, and then obviously treating the toxins that are in the system and allowing that to come out, so that you can actually then start having a more balanced being.
Right. Right. Okay. So it's basically Ayurveda is just trying to bring balance back to yourself,
Yes.
where
So
you've been
it's
out where
being
you've been out aligned. So we just bring
Yeah,
you
so it's
back aligned.
basically bringing all these elements back into alignment.
Alignment. Okay.
So like I'm saying, each of us is born with a particular kind of element that's predominant, and that's called our prakriti, right? And so when these elements go off balance, we're then into a vikriti state. So maybe at some point you're born, so you basically say maybe born with a vata, pitta, prakriti. So that would be more fire, more air, more ether, that kind of elements. But say over time, you maybe through seasonal changes, through lifestyle, through the food you're eating, you sort of develop more fire element in you, right? So that now there's really this buildup of heat in your system, and so you're now getting into a very pitta vikriti. And so now how to bring that back into balance? So it's trying to eliminate that fire, reducing the fire element in your body, so that you can slowly come back to your balance of your vata pitta.
So and like you said, you mentioned diet comes into that practice.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so do you like give examples, or do you give like advice on what to like, or do you ask your clients like, okay, what's your diet looking like, and then you take it from there of what you think is causing the issue, and then try and
Yes.
like replace it with something a bit more healthier or a bit more suitable for that person.
Yeah. So exactly like I mentioned about the elements, every food item, everything around us is made up of these five elements. So every item would food item would actually either have an effect on vata, pitta, or kapha dosha. So it's understanding what the client
Right.
is eating, just to see where the imbalances are, and then obviously then trying to bring them back to their natural state, by obviously eliminating certain foods, giving them certain other foods to improving that, to include in their diet, certain spices, and also to know that Ayurveda really talks about a 6 days diet. Okay,
Oh,
so it's consuming six different tastes in your meal. And if you go back to the way our grandparents grew up,
right,
they kind of had that six tastes in their meal, because most of the time they would have your roti, your vegetable, your dal, your rice, and a pickle with some papad or whatever it was. So
right,
they really did have the six tastes on their plate. And so the six tastes are your sweet, your sour, your bitter, um, your pungent, and your astringent. So those tastes are incorporated in that kind of in that
right,
plate. But over time, we've sort of moved away from eating that traditional. It doesn't have to be an Indian meal,
right,
but we've sort of moved away from that kind of eating pattern, consuming more processed foods, consuming more fast foods, and
right,
just quick and easy meals, because of the lifestyle that we're living, because of the pressures of the external world,
right,
that we forget about how to go back to eating with the seasons, eating for our body,
right.
and that kind of thing. So diet is really just a very important part of an aspect
Ayurveda.
of your journey.
So I guess that also comes back to like where the energy comes from, like because food gives you, and it's like
Yeah,
it's like your petrol for your
yeah.
car.
Yeah,
It
so I
gets you
mean,
from
food is it's the prana, the
yes,
life force, and goes back again to eating fresh foods.
yeah,
Eating like, okay, all of us can't eat organic foods, but eating foods that are really fresh and not processed, not frozen. It's just so important.
do you, yeah, I think I find it's kind of tough nowadays to actually find that fresh produce,
Mhm.
because
Yeah,
like you said, like the world is moving so fast. People just want a quick and easy thing. Um, like myself, we try and like go to the market every second Saturday, just to the farmers market and get the
yeah,
fresh produce from the actual farmers.
yeah,
And we realize those last longer than actually the ones
yeah.
you buy in store. And they're much more healthier. They taste better.
True.
Your food even has that punch that it needs. And you enjoy the meal, but you're also getting the nutrients again from the fresh
Yeah,
produce. So I
yeah,
think we have to like it's kind of a tricky balance. It depends where you are in your life. Like if you just on the go 24/7, you obviously, like you said, you're just going to consume something that's quick and easy. But if you find the time to like actually make a healthy meal, sit down, and enjoy the meal, uh, you feel a little better, I think.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, you said something so important. Is there someone is on the go and they're just gonna look for something quick and easy? But I think what we forget is you can be on the go, but planning is so important.
Mm,
And I think if you just spend like 5 minutes or 10 minutes on a Sunday or the week, which whenever your week is you're planning your week, just to plan your meal so that you know this is what am I going to be eating, this is what I'm preparing for the week for
Right.
breakfast, lunch, dinner, and that on the go can still kind of work if you just make the time to prepare and know the food that's going into your body.
Yeah. But that also has to be taught really young, right? Um,
Yes.
but to make it a little bit of, I know in your elderly in your latter stages of your life, I mean, you kind of like have to like just wander into that space and make sure that this is good for you. Whereas like I think when you're like a bit younger and you have those values and practices instilled in you very young, you just carry that into you. You might not
Yeah.
practice it every day,
Yeah.
because life is not like you said, it's not linear. It's very up and down. But you have that sense of practice to say, okay, I have been doing this for a very long time, and it suited me well. It worked for my body. I was really healthy, and you go back to that state some point
Yeah.
because you have that instilled in you. Um, like you said, fast-paced life doesn't mean you can't eat healthy.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
get the nutrients that you require. And I think nowadays people are trying to get to that stage where they even on the go they're like having their
Mm.
their their fruits, vegetables, or just the different elements, like you said,
Yeah.
into their diet. Even though they are on the go, they're trying.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah, it's so important, and I think another aspect is just you know being mindful when you eat.
mm,
So a little bit of a gratitude prayer before you start your meal just brings so much more meaningfulness to your plate of food, and to the source, to where it came from, and just appreciating every element on that plate, and from the farmer that planted it to the
right,
person that packaged into the grocery store, to how it got to your plate. It's we forget that whole value chain, which is so important, and
gratitude.
appreciating every person on in that chain, you know.
So funny you say
So
that because uh, about a year or two now, Tejal and I have introduced a prayer before we eat. You know, just to thank the person who prepared the meal. We
yeah,
thank God for like giving us this plate of food to eat, and
yeah,
we just pray for everybody that's in our families and that knows us, and we just those that are less fortunate as well.
yeah,
Please guide those that are less fortunate, and it's so like important just to give that little bit of
yes, yeah.
essence to the plate of or gratitude, like you said.
And it's also sending that energy to your food, so the energy is entering your
Yeah.
body. There's just so much that goes with it.
Yeah.
It's not just the gratitude. It's just that essence
Right.
that sort of nectar that gets into the food that now is entering your body.
Right.
Yeah.
So as we live in a modern world, like uh and Ayurveda is it's not something that somebody would actually like go and practice straight off the
Yeah.
bat. What kind of challenges as a practitioner do you think that Ayurveda as a holistic approach faces in this day and age?
Yeah. So I think the first thing is, when people look for healing or any sort of, way of improving their life, they're always thinking very like instantaneous because of the world we live.
Pharmaceutical. Yeah.
Yes, because the
Yeah.
world we're living in is so instant, and everything is
Yeah.
instant
Yeah.
gratification. So when people step into this, you kind of have to remind them that this is a journey, and we've set ourselves to get to this point. So we've kind of brought along a lot of these illnesses upon ourselves unknowingly, and so it's kind of not just erasing it immediately, but it's a journey, and you need to be patient with yourself. And so I think sometimes people kind of don't have the patience, and they look for immediate results. So that's something that obviously needs to for people to understand, that this body is a journey to be worked on. It's
Right.
there's this constant improvement that happens, and it's you will see results, but you also need to be dedicated to your journey. It's not
Yes,
like a
that's very
doctor that's going
important.
to give you the pill and you're going to get fixed instantly, but that's just treating it on a very symptomatic level, and not treating you on a root cause
Root cause,
level,
yes.
whereas Ayurveda is looking at the root cause and trying to help you understand your root causes. But you're also the healer in that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
I'm not just helping you, but you're helping yourself, and you are the healer of your body. And so you obviously need to also take control in that process. So that's the one thing that you obviously see. And then the other thing is obviously the sort of the practices that people don't know about. And then obviously you have to learn about these kind of practices, like simple, daily routine kind of practices that they're not used to. But if one's committed to their journey, and one's committed to healing,
yeah.
it's a beautiful experience.
Yeah, you make a very important point. It's not it's not just a practitioner that's there to help you. Excuse me. I think 80% is the onus is on you.
Yes.
20% is the practitioner because they'll give you the guidance and the tools.
Yeah.
It's actually like you in school, the teacher
Yeah.
will give you so much, but the onus is on you to go and do the homework and learn. Like, I need to
Yes.
practice, 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 practice. And I think that's where I think we fall short, where we don't stick with it. We'll do it for say a month or two, like, and then
Yeah.
we forget about it. But
Yeah.
like it's a constant
Yeah.
practice. It's the constant, you know, being mindfulness, or being mindful that I'm on a journey, and some days are not going to be the same, and
Yeah.
but we shouldn't give up. That's the thing. Just
Yeah.
continue with your practice, even if it's stagnant for a little while. Come back to it, but you know that this journey is going to be like throughout your lifetime. Actually, it's not going to be something that's
Yes.
it's an
It's
overnight fix.
actually, yeah, it's actually just a way of life,
Yeah,
it's a way of living, and it sort of then just becomes a part of you that you don't have to tell yourself, oh, okay, this is Ayurveda, but it just becomes a part of your lifestyle, becomes a part of your daily living, and everything around you, because it's basically takes into account all the things around us. So it's really just a way of life.
yeah. But just like how I think, just like as we 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 get we create bad habits, we can also create good habits.
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
forget that it's not only about just having a bad habit and sticking. That's it. Like they say 21 days. The magic 21
Yes.
number
Yeah.
to create a new habit.
Yeah.
So we can redirect our thought process to become a little bit more mindful that, yeah, we can have negative experiences, but also we can have uh, positive practices as well, which they balance each other out, because you can't just have more of the other.
Yeah.
It just doesn't align, and then you get frustrated with yourself, and you're like, "Ah, I don't know why I'm doing this. It's not even helping me," and you get frustrated, you get angry, you feel all those emotions that
Mm.
you trying to actually, like, limit. Not you can't You'll
Mm.
never get rid of them, because it's part of
Yeah.
your makeup. I mean, we human beings, we're emotional. We experience, I think, every emotion, like, every single day. It's just
Yeah.
how
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 we
you see it.
respond to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think with introducing, like you said, introducing these kind of practices into your life, it becomes second nature to your life, and you'll see the difference. It might not be when you want to see it, but
Mm.
it'll come. You just have to
Yeah.
stick with it.
Yeah.
You just have to keep grinding, and keep pushing.
Yeah, no, it is. And you know what? It's like I said to you, it's not just the food. There's so much around it. It's about taking care of your energy body, taking care of your mental body, your thoughts. All of those kind of things.
Right,
And all of that is deals with exactly with what you spoke about.
right. And in terms of, like, daily practices, like, will you be able to share with us, like, your personal practice? Like, how do you get into routine, and how have you incorporated Ayurveda into your day life and into your family's life?
Yeah. Okay, so when I was younger, I kind of struggled a little bit with social anxiety and that kind of thing, and kind of only figured that out quite sort of later in my life. And so that's really how also another reason why I went into this Ayurvedic this pathway. Um, So for me, when my guru came into my life, I was then practicing my sadhana and doing my daily meditation, throughout, and doing lots of kriyas and pranayams, and so that has kind of stuck with me throughout. And obviously there are times when you like you said, you go a little bit off balance and life happens. But for me, my daily practices, I really do wake up early in the morning. And the reason why I actually wake up early in the morning is because I have the time then to myself,
Right.
before the rest of the house wakes up. So I know that I'm getting some peace and quiet. I'm able to actually do my meditation, do my sadhana, do my pranayams in a very peaceful way. But it's also just waking up with the sunrise, and it's just such a beautiful thing when you're sitting in front of the sunrise,
Right.
and well, even when it's a little dark and you're seeing the sun come up. There's just that energy that comes with it. And in Ayurveda, in the Vedic text, it's called Brahma Muhurat, which is actually like from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the
Right.
morning.
Right.
And so that time space just really allows you to go within, and you can do so much more of that introspection at that time of the morning. So that's really what I do in the morning. I also do a lot of journaling, to allow myself to just let out my thoughts and emotions when I'm feeling down, or and like we spoke about earlier, it's not just really feeling
Yeah.
down. I realized that I needed to journal also when I'm feeling a little,
Good. Yes.
good day some days.
Yeah.
So the journaling really just helps you on a mental level and an emotional level to process so much of things that are within us, and that's on our mind. The other things that I obviously incorporate is yoga and walking. So for me, those are like, walking is kind of a non-negotiable thing. I try and walk as often as I can during the week, and do yoga practices as well.
That's it.
And yeah, so that's my daily kind of ritual morning routine. And how I've incorporated that with my family is, the boys are a little bit young, but incorporating simple like gratitude practices, at bedtime, doing simple, breathing and breath work, just to ground them, just to center them.
Right.
And to help balance the nervous system. They out and about all the time. They hyperactive. They boys. School going kids are always
Yeah.
busy.
Twenty-four
And
seven.
yeah, so you really do need to bring that element of breathing, and getting in touch with your own body. It's just connecting, and it doesn't have to be anything hectic, but just simple breathing techniques for kids. It just does so much to them. It allows them to sleep so much better as well at
Right.
night.
Yeah.
And also daily massages. So,
Oh
doing
wow.
daily massages. If you can't do it daily, and that's okay. Like I always say to people, we can't do things 7 days a week, 365 days a year. But as often as you can, and at least you're trying, and at least you're getting into that practice of self-love, and nurturing your body and taking care of yourself. So in Ayurveda, there's something called Abhyanga, and Abhyanga is really just self massage. And so it's oiling the body and showing yourself the love, um, you know. So yeah, so those are the kind of practices that I incorporate on a daily basis.
Yeah. I have. I think I have like a um, similar routine in the morning. Normally wake up. So I have an app on my phone, just a mindful app.
Yeah,
So I just to check my level of anxiety for the morning, and whatever's in my mind, I'll just like I'll see the level of anxiety I am, and then just make a note of it. So I know I'm taking it out of my mind and putting it. You know, I might not have a journal close to me, but that's my morning
yeah,
routine every day.
yeah,
It's just like something that's a lot like a. If I miss out on it, then I'll feel like okay, I have to get back to
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Um, and then wake up because I'm more like a morning person. That's when I have my my boost of energy. It's just I've always been like that. I think growing up, my dad used to be up early, and we were up early with that,
yeah,
so that stuck with us. So I just think like morning for me is just like getting my exercise done early in the morning. So I know that's when I have the most energy. Getting that done, settling down after that, showering, and go to work. Then I know I'm done.
Mm.
That my practice for the morning that
Yeah.
gets me going is done. Whereas sometimes you're like, okay, I'm just gonna take a break today, and you maybe do it a little later, but
Yeah.
it doesn't have that same effect
Perfect.
when you
Yeah.
have your
In
practice
the
in the
morning.
morning,
Mm.
because I
I
think
agree.
when the sun rises, like we rise with the sun. As soon as the first light hits you, you're up.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
then
it gives you that sort of different kind of energy feel. And so, in Ayurveda, the times of the day also are related to a particular dosha. And so, from 6 to 10 in the morning, it's actually kapha dosha. So if you're going to rise a little later, and kapha dosha is really the water and the earth element. So it's kind of this really heaviness around it. So if you wake up like from 6 to 10, and that's like sort of the later part of the morning, you generally have that sort of lethargy around you. And if you have a second sleep, you're generally always waking up tired.
yeah,
So that's why it's also actually better to rise with the sun and wake up with the sun, to beat that sort of heaviness
yeah.
that comes with the kapha dosha.
Look, I mean, not everyone is the same. Like
Yeah,
some
yeah,
people's, like you said, kapha and dosha is at a different time of the day. It's just how they are, and we have to also respect that they also have their times of days where they start their routines. And I think it's just about accepting that not everybody is the same. And like you said, Ayurvedic practice, I think as a practitioner, you have to. I think it's a challenge for you to like not. It's not just a once off or a set practice. You got to be
yeah,
also a little bit flexible in how you approach different people. And you made a important point about like self massage, and nowadays we have those foam rollers, and we have those massage
mm,
guns, or even
yeah,
just I it's so funny enough, like I struggle with my back for a very long time, and sometimes it just gets a bit knotted and everything. And now I just take a bouncing ball, those bouncing balls like we used to
yes,
play,
yes,
and I put it against the wall because it's hard, and it
yeah,
like
yeah,
manipulate the muscle, and it
yes,
releases. Like it's so amazing. Like we use a piece of nostalgic, uh, a toy or entertainment,
do it, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
to relieve tension in your
uh,
body.
yeah.
So I think we can find. We don't have to go have like this super expensive.
Exactly. It's just simple things that you have at home. It's not buying anything out of the ordinary. It's using your hands.
Hmm.
It's really nothing. You don't actually need anything. You just obviously need a little oil. But yeah, using your hands to give you the massage.
Yeah, I wish we could have it every day now, but as babies, we grow up, we get a massage every day. Mom helps you out before you sleep. It helps you sleep better.
No, it definitely does, and that's why it's so important. For kids as well before bed, just to give them a massage. It's
I love
grounding them. Just helping their nervous systems relax and just giving them a good sleep.
I love that you're incorporating breathwork into the early years. It's so important, like you said, like we say, fundamental years are from 0 to 7, and if they learn those techniques in life, it's just going to give them a
Yeah.
better tool, and give them the ability to manage stressful situations, more
Yeah,
calmly.
I mean they don't always
No, I mean, like
they
it's
they
important
have
to.
days when yeah
No, I understand. Like,
they
I wish we had
they
that
kids
that practice.
yeah
I've been in school. I wish we had like just a 10,
yeah
15 minute break between our classes, just to go in, because you're going from one subject to
yeah
the other, and it's just like your mind is so busy 24/7. There's no time to relax. Only
mm,
we had break time. We had those breaks, but we were just like rushing to a class, and we didn't have that time to settle ourselves and just go into the next class and focus. I think it would help. Just those can manage those
mm,
stressful and experiences, and there's some that just need about like 10-15 minutes just to center
yeah
themselves. And we shouldn't be. I don't think it should be. We used to get like late for class, and like you get,
yeah
oh, you can't come inside now. But
yeah yeah. But I think it also boils down to the teachers and their states of mind. And if teachers are not in control of their body and their mind,
right,
it's so difficult then to help a child.
right,
Um, because you obviously need to be so much more centered, so much more grounded to be able to respond better to children. And children are so unique and so different. And so dealing with, like, however many kids in a class, it's difficult for the teacher if they're not
Right.
in their space of mind, right space of mind.
Yeah, that's a very important point. It's actually they're the drivers of the ship. So
Yeah, yeah,
if the
yeah,
captain is not calm, the boat is gonna
yeah,
rock.
yeah,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you make this breath work is just so important. I think in this day and age, it's even though we've learning it in our adult life, we can pass it on to the next generation to
yeah.
help them along.
And strangely, it's part of our culture. It's been part of, it's a very tradition that's been there. It just obviously was lost along the way. Our forefathers came here to South Africa, and things were kind of lost. And even in India, the knowledge systems sort of were lost, and slowly these are now coming back
Right.
and reviving themselves, which is beautiful. So yeah, sometimes we wish they were there earlier, but yeah, it's circumstances obviously that have led to knowledge being kept away from us,
Yeah.
systems that have kept knowledge away from us.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like life. It comes full circles. It's up and down. It'll come
so
again.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And I think now with the introduction of technology as well, we need it more than ever.
yeah,
And the availability of information where we consume so much in digital, in the digital space. I remember like we didn't have like that. Our digital space was the library. Walk into the library, extension 3 library on a Friday afternoon, going to get a book, with your library card and coming
yeah,
home. And
yeah.
that was our, or going to the getting
True. Yeah.
encyclopedias and
Encyclopedias. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean that's knowledge for us, and it's just amazing how over the decades things have just
yeah. It's
changed.
such a fingertips now. I think we have to.
Yeah,
We can't not acknowledge it. It's there. We just have to like manage it in a way where we're not like over stimulating our brains,
yeah, yeah,
because the brain also is like it's the most important muscle of your body. It,
yeah.
it drives everything. Yeah, without it being healthy,
Yeah.
we just giving we shortfalling ourselves basically.
And I think that's also comes down to the point of our sort of how we set boundaries for ourselves. Like sleeping, whether we were looking at the phone before we're going to bed, how much we're consuming. Creating filters within ourselves about the type of content that we
Content,
consume,
yeah, yeah,
because the type of content that's available is just amazing, from a variety of information sources, and it's about how you filter this
yeah,
information, so that how it enters your subconscious mind and how you then dealing with it, because
yeah,
it has such an effect on not just the mind but on the body as well. Creating all those fear, creating anxiety, creating anger, and sometimes we're just not aware of the content
yep,
and how it then it affects our body and our mind.
right, yeah, yeah. Like you said, it's which we have a choice of what we can consume
Yeah,
and
yeah,
how much of it we want to consume. I think
yeah.
so. And it like the future of Ayurveda, like do you see it? Do you see a lot more of it in the more? Do you see it, or do you hear more about it talked about and more about it being discussed and more people like now actually looking to start their Ayurvedic journeys?
Absolutely. I think it's really just growing, and there's just this, there's so much of information about our Vedic systems and our Vedic culture, from whether it's astrology to Sanskrit to Ayurveda to yoga, and there's just so much of this that's come out, and it's not just in Eastern world but in the Western world as well, where people are just hungry to consume this kind of
Mm,
knowledge, and drinking it because of the benefits that they see from it. And so I really do see Ayurveda growing, and just from a holistic perspective, like holistic healing in general, whether it's traditional Chinese medicine, or like the homeopathy, or that kind of thing. There's just an uptake of people trying to heal their bodies, trying to understand themselves better from a wholeness perspective, from a whole being, rather than treating symptoms. I mean, they've been stuck with treating symptoms,
yeah,
all the time, and just things keep recurring, and you get tired of that.
100%.
So it's and I think also there's just an awakening that's happening where you don't want to just heal yourself, but you're also trying to find who you are in this process.
Oh yeah,
Um,
100%.
and
Yeah,
and that's what this kind of thing does. It brings you closer to that. Who am I? And it's how am I helping myself, but how am I helping people around me? What am I doing to serve myself better, but to serve other people
yeah,
better?
and it's to heal
Um,
those childhood, those childhood
yeah,
traumas, those adult,
yeah,
those
yeah,
experiences, and just to accept that those things have happened, and how do we manage those situations going forward?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
a lot of our issues in our adulthood is obviously stem from childhood somewhere along the line. We just don't
yeah.
realize it how, and if it's not dealt with at that point in time, it carries with you throughout your adult,
Yes, yeah.
especially into like your relationships, you know your studies, your or anything that you
Anything in your life. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Yeah, and I think so much of it goes back into your childhood, and it is a difficult journey. And it's like we spoke about earlier, it's not something that's going to happen, quick fix, and it's not an instant journey. But it's taking you back to those scenarios, taking you back to where the roots lie,
Yeah,
and slowly, coming out of it. And yeah,
I think what you're doing with your kids is amazing because you're giving them the opportunity also to express themselves in that moment and not just let
yeah,
it linger with them like 2 3 weeks later or
yeah, yeah,
forever. Like they're expressing how they feel like right now, and they give it you creating a safe space for them to come to you and say, look mom, I'm not feeling great, this
yeah.
happened to me, that happened. They don't feel that fear of like, oh no, because I'm a boy, I shouldn't have those
Yes,
feelings.
yeah,
It's okay to be
yeah,
vulnerable. It's okay to be,
yeah.
you know, scared at times. It's okay to be fearful. It doesn't make you weak in any way. It just
No.
makes you a human being.
Yeah.
And that I think we get lost in like the gender roles, that we
Yes.
each play. Uh, like a female is supposed to be a certain way, a male is supposed to be a certain
Mm-hmm.
way, or
Mm-hmm.
we just all trying to live
Yeah.
in this complex world, and we're just doing our best, I guess.
Yes, and I mean, like you're speaking about these gender roles, we sort of, grew up with those inconsistencies of, yeah, what males should do, what females should do, and then we've also developed these kind of wounds, coming from that. We forget about our feminine parts, we forget about our masculine parts, and we're all made up of this masculine and feminine energies, and so it's just honoring both those elements and both those energies within us.
Right.
The masculine that's going to give us the ability to drive, to do things, and the feminine just allowing us to be softer, to be a lot more compassionate, using our creativity.
Yes.
Whereas the masculine, a little bit more logical, a little bit more analytical. And so we need all of these elements to actually move on in life. But we've become so, stuck in the masculine because of the masculine world around us.
Yeah.
Where everything is, demand based, everything is, logical, everything has to be analyzed, everything has to be criticized. And things around us and are so fast because of that everything has to be done now. That's the reason why we're having burnout, that's the reason why we're having stress,
Depression.
this anxiety and these high levels of depression. So people are just forgetting about softening into themselves, softening
Mm.
into their compassionate side, into their feminine side, whether you're male or you're female. You forget that you have this power within you to be softer to yourself,
Yeah, yeah. To be yourself.
to be kinder to yourself,
Yeah,
and you can express your creativity. There's nothing wrong in expressing yourself.
yeah,
So in these various ways. So it's bringing that balance of the masculine and feminine back again, and that's why I like to work with women as well who want to move away from this masculine world and tap into the softer aspects of us, because that's what's happened over time. Our
right.
mothers, our grandmothers have, sort of moved away from their feminine, and because of the dynamics of the world, they came out with these masculine roles more,
Right.
because they needed to live up to those kind of expectations of people around them, society around them. So it's breaking those barriers and in accepting us for who we are, and the role that we also have to play to be kinder to ourselves, and to slow down. I think the most important thing for women, and the message that I have for women is just slowing down, and just listening to yourself sometimes. We are so fixated on, I need to do this now, I have the next thing to do, that we forget to just take a breather in between. Things are not gonna fall apart. You are still holding things together, but you just need to slow down.
You make a very important point of time. Time, obviously, time waits for nobody, but we don't always have to be doing something to feel
Yeah,
fulfilled. You can be doing
yeah,
nothing and feel fulfilled,
yeah,
and that's, I think, where we struggle, is that balance. Or I'm just sitting on the couch, but I should be doing something, because if I'm not doing
yeah,
something, I feel now then it starts to spiral. Then your mind starts to think, okay, let me go do this.
yeah.
Oh, that's outstanding, let me go and do this. Oh, instead of
I used
saying,
to
okay,
struggle with that too.
yeah,
Sometimes you'd want to just sit on the couch and you think, okay, but I'm feeling guilty for just doing nothing. And so I had to also keep reminding myself that, what, it's okay some days to just do nothing. Even when I would go for my daily walks, I would be literally, zooming. I would be fast. I would, really be walking fast. And I think to myself, but what am I trying
what am
to
I
do?
doing?
Why am I doing this? And I've really, had to slow down, because I realized if I'm not slowing my body down, I'm not slowing my mind down,
Right.
I'm not slowing my digestion down, and all of these are all connected. So there's this fast energy, this
Yeah,
fire energy that's happening around me, this pitta that's really
100%.
going crazy. So it's really, then I've had to tell myself, you need to slow down.
Yes.
So it's just so important. Yeah.
Yeah, with that, slowing down just then bring everything back into alignment. You feel better. You look better. You even just your skin starts to, like, rejuvenate, and you start looking after yourself better. And it's just, you're not just looking after yourself. Like, if you have a family dependent on you, then
Mm,
you are there at least for them in that way
yeah.
that they actually need you to be. Because I think if you, like, so manic and panic, then
Yeah.
they're gonna feel that energy from you, and
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, okay, mom, what's happening, or
Yeah.
dad,
Yeah.
what's happening. And then, because you want to create a safe space for them to, like, actually, grow and
Yeah.
and learn and continue their journey, because they also on their own path, I mean, their own journeys, they
Yes.
experiencing new things every single day. They learning about their bodies. their
Yeah.
their peers are going through something, and I think these kind of practices, or these kind of chats, help, I think, just bring awareness to, like, we need to firstly take care of ourselves, and then we can
Mhm.
take care of others. Because if we don't look after ourselves, we cannot take care of others.
You can't. You can't. Absolutely, you can't. You know what? If you're not nourished, from the inside out, there's really just that much of space that you have to offer, the next person, whether it's in your workplace, whether it's in your family. So it's just so important that we begin to take care of ourselves, body, mind, and soul.
And
So that you can serve other people better. And
yeah,
serving other people better, I don't mean in a way that you're a healer,
no,
or
no, yeah,
you know something, but in your daily functions of
exactly.
life.
Yeah, and not feel guilty about it. We
Yes.
shouldn't feel
Yeah.
guilty about, self-love,
Yeah.
self-care. It's not a guilty practice. It's actually a very important one,
Yes.
and it's something that has to be, like punched into society, that it's not something that you're not being selfish.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
I If I can give my best version of myself to you, that's, do you want 50% of me, or do you want 100% of me? Yeah, I'm saying, which one
Yeah.
would you prefer? i'd rather
I
give you
mean,
100 I'd rather give you 100% of me.
yeah. And that's the same applies to in the workspace. If you can show up for 100% of yourself, you're going to give 100% back.
Exactly.
Uh, so yeah.
So in terms of, like, resourcing, if people want to, like, start, listeners who want to start reading, or start, just getting a gauge of what Ayurvedic practices are, do you have any suggestions? I know you have your website, which I'll put in the link in the description below. I'll share that with the community. But is there any other resources that you can, make us aware of?
So you know what, if someone really just wants to start from a beginner level, trying to understand Ayurveda, trying to understand how they can help
Yeah.
themselves from a basic function of nutrition and breath work, movement kind of space. There's a really good book by Dr. Vasant Lad, which is Ayurveda for self healing, and there's some really good books by him as well. Even Deepak Chopra. And then there's a vast amount of information that's available online and
Right.
that sort of thing. So there's just a lot of information. It's just about trying to obviously understand from what it is that you can take in and
What's
put into
relevant for you?
practical use. Yeah, put
Yeah.
into
What's
practical.
relevant for you? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Perfect. Thank you so much.
yeah. And in
Before.
terms of resources, like what I would really recommend, if even if someone doesn't want to go and read about it, and
Right.
everyone has the time to read, just incorporating really simple practices into their daily life. Is We spoke about waking up early. The second thing is making sure that you have bowel movements daily. Having bowel movements daily is just so important because
Right.
that then
That's
leads to
health.
obviously illnesses. And so doing a little bit of tongue scraping, oil pulling in the morning. But what I would also suggest is breath work, your movement, whether it's exercise, yoga, walking, that kind of thing. And then the one thing I often find people do, and it's kind of a thing that shouldn't be done, is eating fruits in the morning, like up until 10 o'clock. And we spoke about the type of energy
Right.
in different times of the day. And so it really works on our digestion. Everything
Right.
works around our digestion. So having fruits is really just gonna sort of dampen the digestive fire, dampen your agni in the morning. So
Oh,
it's
that's interesting.
ideally, yeah. So it's ideally best to have them, after 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
Like I
I
said, in the
always thought it
morning.
was like you have your fruits and your fruits in the morning, or
Yeah,
your cereal
yeah.
in the
Then
morning with
that's
some
kind of
fruit
the
and
mistakes. Yeah.
yeah,
So I mean,
interesting.
if you look at the time of the day, like I said, from 6 to 10 in the morning, there's this heaviness around, in the air.
Right.
We're with a lot of earth and water elements,
Right.
and so when you look at fruits, they also just this really heaviness, coldness around them, and earth and water. It is really cold and heavy. So in Ayurveda, we want to create a balance. So we want to have the opposite of that.
Oh, okay.
So that's what's happening in our digestion at that time of the morning. It's really still starting up. Our
Okay.
digestive fire is not at its peak. It really can't process a lot of stuff in the morning that's cold, that's damp, and so that's what fruits are. Fruits are that kind of element. So we rather want to have fruits a little bit later, when 10 o'clock, when the sun is starting to come out. So our digestion is improving, our digestive fire is improving.
Yeah, I struggle with
So we're
my.
able to
I think
break it
I
down.
struggle with my bowels in the morning. I think
Yeah.
for so long, obviously growing up playing sport and those kind of things, we needed the nutrients and we needed the
Yes.
energies and stuff. And I still struggle till today with my bowel movements in the morning. Some days
Yeah.
it's better than others, but I think you make a very important point of something I learned today about fruits
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the coldness and the dampness in your gut. But so
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. I appreciate
And
that.
I mean, another thing also is not having a lot of cold, like having ice. People are so generally it's used to having ice and iced water
Water.
and kind of thing, but rather having it either lukewarm or
Yeah.
warm, at that temperature, because you really want to keep that warmness within you.
Right.
You don't want to kill the warmth inside of your system. I mean, on really hot days, yeah, you can have a little bit of coldness, but most of the time, generally, you want to have lukewarm to warm water in your bottles of water.
Can you incorporate acidity into that, like lemon or honey or something?
You know what? Again, it really just depends on
Okay.
your
Okay.
state of being and the imbalances that you have.
Right.
So it's really just kind of specific to that.
It's just like
Yeah.
trial and error, basically. kind of like you
So
can.
understanding where you are,
Okay.
like what's your imbalances, whether you're vata, pitta, where your imbalances lie,
Okay.
then that would obviously help to understand what you need inside the water. So yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to say now because then somebody might say, okay, let me go and add a little bit of lemon and whatever into my water, and it might not be good for them, maybe good for you,
Okay.
but not for them.
Okay.
So each one of us is just really so different, and
Yeah.
at that time of our life, we also different.
We just need to listen to our bodies.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Waking up in the morning can only happen also if you sleep early.
Yeah.
So getting to bed is also another thing that we encourage in Ayurveda as well.
Okay. Okay. So what time is like the
So
an
ideally,
acceptable time to go back to bed?
I mean, ideally, I would say, someone that really likes to sleep late, 9:30 would be 9:30 to 10 would obviously be an
Okay.
ideal time. But yeah, getting to bed by 9 is obviously a good time, 9:30.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
some of us. I think because you have like certain things in life going on, you don't get to bed like at
Yes.
weekends come also. You're like, okay, I'll go a bit longer because I don't have that
Yeah.
extra
Yeah.
thoughts of work, or that I
Yeah.
don't have
Yeah.
any productivity I need to do. I have, yeah, just general responsibilities, but I don't need to
Yeah.
like wake up and like go through my. But I think like you said, it's important to sleep is very important. Like we're
Hmm.
learning as we go along, or
Yeah.
I'm learning as I go along, and sleep is very important. Whereas before
Yeah.
in SA, I think before moving to Canada, I used to sleep at about 10:30, or when the football is on, like the late, and then I wake
Yeah.
up at about 4:30, uh, and I go to gym because I used to start my
Yeah.
day really early, and I wasn't getting the enough, the amount of sleep that I needed. Whereas now in Canada, because my day starts a bit later, I can get the full 6 to 8 hours
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
still wake up and have a routine and then start my day.
Yeah.
Even though I go along further in my day, so like I only finish work at like 5:30, 6.
Yeah.
But I know that it's not like I need to rush and go home and do something. Because I come home, both Tejal and I, we have our meal, we eat supper really early. We try and do it before 6:37. So it gives us also time to go in for a walk, or just
Mm.
give our bodies time to digest that food
Yeah.
that we've just taken in, and not just going into bed,
Yeah. Yeah.
consumed with what we've just eaten.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's another point, that's so important is that at least leave 2 to 3 hours before your dinner time, before you go to bed,
Yes.
after you've eaten, so you're not going to bed on a full stomach.
Yeah. I think coming to Canada helped us also because we're really close to the water. We can go in for a nice walk, maybe
Yeah,
half an hour
yeah,
or something, come back, get blood flowing, get your
yeah,
digestive system
yeah,
moving. And when you come back, you don't feel as heavy as you
yeah,
would,
yeah.
So I think we've incorporated a lot of those just basic practices
Basic
into our
practice.
life.
Yeah,
And we feel better. I mean, we are like in a little bit of a better space than we were, say 3 4
yeah.
years ago. I'm not
And
saying
that's so
any.
important is that you become aware of those things. And
Yeah,
I think that's the message also is that, just becoming aware of your needs, becoming aware of how it's going to start changing your daily life,
yeah,
and the things around you, the people around you. So it's just not an impact on yourself, but
yeah,
the greater, the greater good of other people. So your family, your workspace, and everything around you starts,
yeah.
beginning to change once you start taking care of yourself.
And we needed to find what worked for us. Not everything did. We tried, and something,
Yeah,
we just, okay, this is not working for us. Let's try something else. And
yeah,
we weren't too critical of ourselves to say, okay, now this is not working. Why isn't it working? We
mm,
didn't look for like we didn't overreach to ask the why. We just
yeah,
accepted. We accepted that
yeah,
okay, this is not aligning to us what we want to do in life because we both love
yeah,
to travel. We love to experience life. We love food. So those kind of experiences we like culture. So we try and
mm,
do like different things. Like we try in different places to eat. We try different cuisines. We try different experiences. And there's some days where I don't enjoy what Tejal does, and she doesn't enjoy what I do,
yeah,
and we
yeah,
go our separate ways and we do what we feel like we do what we love, but we do things together. And I think
yeah,
that's where we begin to find a balance of who we are as people as well, and how we can communicate that.
Yeah.
We don't get it right all the time, but we are a bit more aware of like what the other person is feeling,
Yeah.
or what is their need at that point. Just because
Yeah.
we've
Which is so
included those
important.
basic practices, like you said, breathwork,
Mm.
meditation, simple things that we don't need fancy equipment for, or we don't need a
Yeah.
gym membership for. We can do it in the comfort of our own home, but
Yeah.
still getting that practice in.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really amazing what self-care can do for you, and basic things. It doesn't mean spending hours every day, 15 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the morning. It just does wonders for oneself.
Yeah, and just longevity, like just to give yourself the best possible opportunity
Yeah.
to not not depend on like um, external external factors to help you along in your life in terms
Mm.
of like movement. Whereas I
Yeah.
felt like a lot of our parents and our grandparents, like I mean, you see like other elderly people like struggling with movement, just simple thing like waking up in the
Mm.
morning, walking and
Mm.
stuff, because they also didn't take care of themselves in that way.
Yeah.
Whereas we
Yeah.
feel now, for us it's very important just to be able to like keep moving, even if
Yeah.
in our latter years. We just, for myself, I just want to be able to like know that I am able to just move.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's so common. I see that with so many older women here nowadays that are experiencing those kind of issues simply because they haven't taken care of themselves in their earlier years,
Mm.
where they're experiencing pain in their leg, pain in their lower backs. Those kind of issues. It's just become really really common. And like you said, it's again because they haven't taken care of themselves. They haven't spent enough time with movement, walking, simple things that don't need resources, that don't need money,
Mm.
that can be done, yeah, for free.
Yeah, and it's important, like we project that now onto the, like you said, your kids, and so they'll take that into
Mm,
their lives, and somebody else who actually who's requiring this will say, okay, you know what, it doesn't matter, you can start now. Now is
yeah.
the time. I mean, you don't have to be like super young to start this journey. You can start.
There's never, it's
Never
never, you're
arrive.
never too
Yeah,
late, and
exactly.
you're
You
never
can
too old to begin your journey.
exactly, and
Yeah,
we'll never stop learning as human beings.
yeah,
We always want
yeah.
to learn something new from somebody else as well,
Yes,
who has a different perspective on life, and it's
yeah.
good to have these kind of discussions where we sometimes we also don't, we keep it to ourselves, and we don't we aren't able to like verbalize it in a way where we want to just like give our thoughts to somebody else who's actually
Mm,
needing it at that point in time,
yeah.
because my experience is my experience, yours is yours, but
Mm,
I can learn something that probably you've gone through that I require at this point in time. And I
yeah,
think with your Ayurvedic practice, I think you bring in the natural side of it into it, and that's a good thing, where we've got the earth, we've got the planet, it's a
yeah,
natural
yeah.
resource, and I think Ayurveda incorporates that into our daily life, where we have material things, we have
Mm.
all those kind of external handles that we rely so much on, but we also need the natural part of it as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We always, that the natural part's always been there. Our grandparents, our forefathers were always using nature to help themselves, and it was lost along the way. I grew up seeing my grandfather, boiling herbs, boiling spices, and using that to heal himself. And I never knew that he was practicing Ayurveda. And he's had books on all these things, obviously with written in Gujarati, and I actually have a lot of them with me now.
Do you
So
still read it?
it's
Uh,
I try
okay.
every way I can.
Okay.
I'm actually trying to find a way of actually putting it into English. But
Google Translate.
yeah. So that knowledge, and it's been there. It was just like lost along the way,
Yeah,
because of modernization.
right.
So yeah, it's nature has wonders that it can do for us. And using simple things in the kitchen, it doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to go and go out there and look for it. Stuff that we can use, that
Yeah,
we have. Yeah.
yeah. No, I think our parents also were using it. Also, they were incorporating in their tea. Just the cardamoms,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
masala spice for the tea, the tea leaf,
Exactly.
those kind of
Yeah.
things. It wasn't as fancy machine they were using. It's just a boiling
Mm.
pot of water and just those ingredients going in,
Yeah.
and you just get you feel that
Yeah. And
that
it's all really, it had they had a particular reason why they were doing it. And it really comes down to the science or gain of Ayurveda. Spices were added in for a particular reason,
right,
into the tea. So everything really did have a reason. It's just that it wasn't explained to us. We never understood it. Our parents never understood it because maybe their parents couldn't explain
right,
it to them
right,
in a way that they could understand. There was obviously language barriers at the time,
right, right, right.
Gujarati and English and those kind of things. So they rather just not have said it.
Yeah,
That's how we kind of didn't learn about it. And everything really just comes from our ancestors, from our forefathers.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's important to learn, to go back. Sometimes going back is important to go forward.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
just appreciating and acknowledging what they've done for us, and we are really here because of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to. So my next question would be like, before I end the show, I just want like, what's next? What's next for you?
Yeah, so in terms of Ayurveda, and what I'm doing here, it's really just trying to empower women, and that's really what I want to do. Is I just see so many women who are moms, who live busy lives, whether they're moms or not, and just don't have the capacity to be centered, to be grounded, and take care of themselves. And so really that's what my driving force right now is. For women to know that there is a place, that you can actually help yourself in this journey of life. And it's your voice is actually heard. And to know that you're not alone in this. Many women, including myself, have been through those kind of challenges. And you can come out much stronger, and you can go on with life with a lot more compassion, a lot more love for yourself, for your family, and to bring this kind of knowledge towards them and to help them. And that's just through my consultations that I do with people, and also through treatments, so physical treatments as well. And that's doing herbal treatments, using massage powders, using medicated oils, to help
Right.
with certain illnesses as well. Yeah.
No, thank you so much. That's powerful. I appreciate
Thank
that.
you for having me.
No,
Yeah.
you're welcome. It's always a pleasure to reconnect with people that are just doing so much good
Yeah.
work, and it's amazing. And I wish you all the best in your future and
Thank
your
you.
practices. And thank you for joining me. And I hope we can touch base again soon sometime.
Yeah.
But no, thank you so much. Truly humbled. Truly
Thank
appreciate
you,
your
and I
time.
think thank you for this platform that you've created, in sharing the message to other people, for
Thank you.
your journey, and everyone else's journey, and that people are not alone on this path,
Right.
and that there's help, whether it's Ayurveda, whether it's in other ways, but there is help out there for people. It's mental health, whether it's physical health, that you're not alone in this journey of life.
No, thank
Yeah.
you so much. I appreciate that.
Okay. Thanks so much, Kishan, for having me.
All right. No problem. Anytime. Until the
All
next
right.
time. Take care, guys.
Okay. See
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.